All right, Andy, Nick, this is a massive one. Manchester City against Liverpool this weekend in the Premier League at the Etihad. I'll be there for PST, delighted to say that. Nick, I'm coming straight to you, mate. Who needs a win more in this game? Because still early in the season, but at this moment, heading into international break, it feels like this kind of game and a victory in it could do a lot for momentum for either of these sides at the moment.
Who needs it more? Still Liverpool. 100% still Liverpool. But who would a win say more for? It's Man City. And I've been growing, and I'm not trying to hedge because look, my prediction for the Premier League title was Arsenal before the year. They don't have any of their attackers. They still may well be the favorite, right? Man City's very, very good. And they are starting to look better. I'm sure we'll talk about him a little later, but Shirky looks like he's really figuring it out. They've been doing it this season without Aït-Nouri. I mean, really without a left back, with all apologies to Nico O'Reilly. I think City are 100% fine. I think you could bet on them in the top 4 right now, and it's going to happen. But they may be a title favorite. Liverpool, which is strange to say, would you, if they finish 5th? If I told you they finished 5th, would it shock you? If I told you they won the league, would it shock you? No. But there's less certainty around them. So I think they need it more.
Yeah. Andy, in terms of Man City, I think I feel like they need it in terms of just to show everyone that they are back and they should be a force to be reckoned with, and had that kind of fear factor around them, because they kind of lost that last season. And even at the start of this season, they've had a few dodgy defeats, Villa, Brighton, Spurs. But there's signs, right? They're obviously clicking through the gears. They're finding, I think, systems and combinations over the pitch which are working for them. Very settled back 4. As Nick said, Shirky's kind of like, I think Haaland said he's similar to Kevin De Bruyne. Obviously can't replace Kevin De Bruyne, but that kind of quality of being able to pick out a pass and connect play. And then Haaland's Haaland, right? And when you've got him, you've always got a chance of winning games. So for City, it feels like this is the time to make a statement, to say, with this new look squad, everything we've gone through in terms of the ups and downs, we're kind of back almost, and just kind of scare Arsenal a little bit.
Yeah, and it's not just a new look squad. I think we're seeing a little bit of a new pep as well, because like Shirky is there a more unpepped player than Shirky? Make the right decision, do the right thing is like the creed that Pep seems to live by, and Shirky's not really with that. He is out there to play his game, and the flicks and the tricks and everything. And he's an incredible footballer to watch, just as an individual. But seeing him start to kind of now gel into this team a little bit more, because he didn't have to do that when he was at Lyon. It was kind of the Shirky show, and you tuned in to watch that, by the way, and you typically got your money's worth. But now that he's in this system and everything, it took him a little bit. But yeah, obviously he's starting to feel more comfortable. He's starting to find some of those spaces. The fact that he had both of the assists for Haaland against Bournemouth, that was to me, I think, a really telling performance, because Bournemouth have they gave Liverpool trouble on opening day. They've been fantastic since then, and City just kind of brushed them aside and weren't really bothered by them. And to me, that was very, very impressive. And so, if they have, Foden is coming back into form. Doku has been fantastic this season. Obviously, Haaland's doing what he's doing. I will say they're a Haaland injury away from what the heck happens now, and who knows at that point. But yeah, it's been fun to see this team come along very quickly. We talked about Thomas Frank and Spurs this week, and I know he's a new manager and a new team, but this is about half of a new squad for City, the players that they're playing this season, and it's come together very quickly for them.
Yeah, and it just feels like there's a nice balance underneath Haaland. We talk obviously a lot about Haaland scoring the goals, but the chances being created, the way that they are moving opposition defenders around to create that kind of space for him, feels like they've found, again, that right combination and balance. And that's what I like about City right now. In terms of what we like about Liverpool, Nick, obviously back on track, right? Win against Villa last weekend, beat Real Madrid at Anfield, and 2 shutout victories. And I think we've probably seen probably the best performance over the 90 minutes against Real Madrid in midweek. They probably should have won by more than the 1-goal margin if it wasn't for Courtois. I think it's just, again, we talked about balance with City, but I think Liverpool found it and have gone back to, just maybe not being too adventurous when they do get opportunities, but picking the right moments, when to press, when to go forward, and then being okay with sitting back and defending a bit deeper as well. So I guess we should give Arne Slot a big shout out because it was a heck of a bad run they were on not too long ago.
It is. They are slipping also into a familiar role, which is nobody believes in us siege mentality. I'm sure you guys saw the story, Virgil van Dijk getting after Wayne Rooney a little bit. Oh, why is everybody so mad at me? Arne Slot, when we were top of the table, it was fine. I think maybe it's a little bit of playing with fire, but that's what's working for them right now. There was a little bit of pick your favorite swear word to you, right? In their performance against Real Madrid. It was a little nasty. There was a when McAllister scored the goal, there was a little defiance in his face. And I think that's the perfect scenario for them, again, for a short term, because you can only play that card so many times. And that's why I think this game, going back to the way you started the conversation, is so important.
It really is. And Andy, in terms of the important people in this game, who do you think is going to really decide it? Is it going to be in midfield? I mean, with looking at sort of Liverpool's midfield being back with McAllister and Gravenberch looking really good as a duo. I mean, that seems particularly key, right? And then Nico Gonzalez and Bernardo Silva have been starting there, but Rodri is kind of being in and out of the team and not quite back to his best. I mean, that to me seems like a really key part of it. We talk about all the great attacking players, but in midfield, when it's all going on around them, someone needs to get control of this game and calm it down. Feels like both teams have the potential to do that, but who do you think is going to do it better?
I think it's two Liverpool players that are the key for me, and it's going to be how Slot, where he deploys them and what he gets out of them. It's Szoboszlai and it's Wirtz, and what we saw from those two against Madrid. Szoboszlai back in the middle where he played all of last season and just gives them that solidity that I think that we're talking about. He strikes that balance for them. He's an 8, but he's playing as a 10, but the defensive work you're going to get out of him. And he's obviously got tons of quality in the final third. And so you're not losing anything there. And Wirtz kind of shifting out to the left side, in theory, I don't love, especially once we get back into Premier League games, because the intensity and the pace of the games is so much higher, and how much more the fullbacks get forward and the more defensive work you're going to be asking of him out wide. And so I think maybe you shift the problem area for Liverpool a little bit from in the middle to out wide. And so just whatever Slot decides to do, I guess with Wirtz really, is I think going to be pretty telling for this one. Is he going to go with Gakpo, somebody that he really trusts in that position, or is he going to try and ride and create a hot hand with Wirtz?
Yeah, it's going to be so interesting, right, Nick? I mean, predicted lineup, so I'm going to have that on the site during the lead up to this game. But you could go a lot of different ways with City's attack, with Liverpool's attack as well. Prediction-wise, though, mate, what are you going for?
So when I make my prediction, it's with this asterisk. I think Liverpool are going to play a little bit defensive. We saw the way that these games are kind of going. We saw how Liverpool Arsenal looked. We saw how Man City looked when they went to Arsenal, right? Like these games, these guys know that this is the big one for them, one of the big ones for them. And I just think we'll see a little bit more pragmatic Liverpool. I think it will somewhat limit the chances. But man, this City team, I mean, I know it was Swansea in the League Cup, but 3-1 against Swansea, 3-1 against Bournemouth, 4-1 against Dortmund, 9 shots on target against Dortmund. They're scoring goals, and I'm going 2-1 to City.
2-1 to City. Andy, I want to go 1-1. I think this is one of those games which is happening quite early in the season again, and just similar to that Arsenal City game that Nick referenced, that might be a little bit like handbrake on for both of these teams at the moment. And, we'll see how we get on against the other teams in the league and where we can drop points, and that's going to decide the title a little bit. But yeah, I think they know each other so well, right? Van Dijk against Haaland, I'm really looking forward to that individual scrap there. But just, I think Liverpool picking up those results in the last week is pretty huge for confidence for them, especially shutouts. So I would have said City would win quite comfortably before the last few days, but I'm going to go with a draw. What are you going with?
I don't think City have the personnel to play handbrake on, and I think that is going to suit them. I think they're going to benefit from that in this one, be a little bit bolder and go after it. And I think they put Liverpool under tons of pressure in this game, and don't dominate them, but make them uncomfortable for sure. And that's not really a situation Liverpool are comfortable in. So I'm going to go with a City win. I'll take the same score as Nick, 2-1.
There you go. It's going to be a beauty at the Etihad. Man City against Liverpool. Head over to Pro Soccer Talk on NBCSports.com. I'll be there for the site live analysis reaction. We'll have you covered. Always a massive game in the Premier League season. And it feels particularly big just coming up before the international break as both these teams try and get that momentum going again, keeping it as they try and win the Premier League title.
Hi there, I'm Rebecca Lowe, studio host of NBC's coverage of the Premier League. Don't forget to hit subscribe to watch more videos all season long. And for even more Premier League content, from original series to live matches, head over to Peacock.